everybody. Welcome back to Haddonfield and Beyond. Second live stream of the week. Not used to that. And joining me on this one to talk about some Halloween news, some Halloween speculation, it's Mr. Show Shared Slash himself, Mr. Mean Dean Renner. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, everyone? Yeah, I was finally able to make this one. My weekend was just packed, so yeah, I needed to rest up Monday. Caught the stream a little late, but here and ready to talk about it tonight. So, whenever you're ready, Sean.
Okay, well, I'll just start by asking everybody if they've seen the reveal of the Halloween 16-bit game, basically a Super Nintendo game. What are your thoughts on it? Are you on board for it? Obviously, I think a lot of people had a little bit of a higher expectation based off of the press release. I see a lot of people are happy with it, though, which is, fantastic. Let us know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications to all to keep up to date with all of our content. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by doing any of those things, or you can send in a super chat. That always helps pay the bills, and keep the lights on around here. Dean, we got the reveal earlier this week that there was not one but two official Halloween games in the works after years of rumors and speculation. At one point in time, we thought maybe they had overhyped it and we were only getting a Fortnite skin.
Yeah.
And instead, we get the Super Nintendo Lite game, which will be available this October. And then we're getting a game done in Unreal Engine 5. Johnny and I recapped what people might be able to expect from that. So we had thought you're going to get an asymmetrical one, which is just the given: Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then we were hoping if you got that one, that you would in turn also get a story-based game. I'm not ruling out the story-based game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ruling out that we're not going to get an asymmetrical horror game that has a story to it. But I gotta be honest, the Super Nintendo 16-bit thing does not work for me. It's 2024, overhyped, undersold. I'm not trying to shit on anyone's parade. If you're thrilled to get it, fantastic. I can tell you right now, I will not be buying this thing at launch because the price point, in my opinion, is atrocious. To give you an idea about another side-scroller that got not even like a full remaster, but a port over, a popular cabinet game back in the day, Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, that you can play 4 players on. You can play that on PlayStation and Xbox, and it's free if you have Game Pass or whatever the PlayStation. I think PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
You pay no extra for it whatsoever. And then there's some other games that have been ported over where you have to pay like $10 to regain access. And while I understand that this isn't an old game, $25 American for a game like this digitally, might I add. I don't know if you can buy the game physically without buying it in that collector set that's on the thumbnail. If anybody has the answer to that, please feel free to share it with us in the comment section. But I just think at the end of the day, $25 American, essentially $35 Canadian for a digital download of a side-scrolling Michael Myers game that looks more like, Mario back in the day. It just doesn't work for me. I saw someone in the chat say better than asymmetrical horror. I think you're absolutely nuts, but if it works for you, then great. I just think a lot of fans had a higher expectation after waiting this long for a Halloween game. It's on Amazon, and there's a collector's edition. So maybe you can buy the physical copy by itself without being in the collector's edition. But I would also go on to say that the collector's edition is a little bit pricey. It seems as if you can only buy the physical form of the game if you get the Evil Dead portion as well.
Hmm.
And then you get some goodies like a couple of coins, a a mock replica, if you will, of a cabinet of the game, which will
Hmm.
be tiny and small, a
Yeah.
Michael Myers plushie, and I'm forgetting a few of the other things, but that's $100 American.
Hmm.
So after tax, you're looking at, I don't know what it would be down there, but for Canadians, like you're asking us to commit to a after tax and shipping like 160
Oof.
plus dollar commitment for something like that.
Yeah.
No way in fucking hell.
No.
For me, it's a mad cash grab, and I'm a
Hmm.
little disappointed. I do think if you wait though, digitally, the cost of the game is going to come down.
Yeah,
They'll
probably.
have not much say in that. Xbox will end up having like a summer sale or a winter sale, or same with PlayStation, and you'll probably able to nab the game for half price or even less. I believe it's also available on the Nintendo Switch and PC as well. So,
Hmm.
Dean, your thoughts on the announcement, first of all, of two new Halloween games? We've seen one, the other one's going to take quite some time before we see any tangible results on that. But your thoughts on what we're getting out of the 16-bit game and what your hopes are for the other one? I don't think you're much of a gamer, are you?
Not too much, but these movie style games, they bring me in. So like, there's a bunch I would like to check out that requires me getting a console. But this might be kind of like the icing on the cake for me to finally get something. So with the 16-bit game, I think it is my opinion. I think it's aimed at a younger audience, just kind of a hack and slash run through, kind of beat 'em up style, old retro game. So that might work for a little bit of a younger audience. Could be kind of fun, maybe. But your hardcore fans and your older gamers and your young adults between 17 to 30, are going to be waiting on most likely that second game when that comes out. That's going to be run with the Unreal 5 engine. I've seen some mock-up videos of some stuff done with that, and it looks really good. So I kind of that boosts my hopes a little bit for whatever that game will be. I think it'll probably be along the lines of Friday the 13th and what it was, but I would like to see maybe a combination of asymmetrical multiplayer with a story mode. So I would love to see the option of going through different scenes or parts of the movie. If they were to kind of expand this thing a lot, I'm not sure how much it would cost. I'm sure it'd be a lot. But if you can kind of pick, like, what movie do you want to play? Do you want to start in 78? Do you want to start H2 and kind of go through the hospital, or part 4 in Haddonfield and so on. I think that'll draw a lot of people in. So for that, I would love to dive into something like that. So I would most definitely pick that up if that's what we get. And that'll probably push me into kind of like the world of discovering these newer, like, movie-based video games. Texas Chainsaw looks decent, but I heard it kind of playability gets a little boring and redundant after a while. Killer Clowns looks like a ton of fun. The RoboCop Rogue City game, that's another one that looks really good. So things along that line. This Halloween game could hook me in, and I'll get a taste of what they're all about.
KJ mentions in the chat that there's a bit of nostalgia
Hmm.
tied with the 16-bit too. There is, but I'm not paying that price for nostalgia. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you wait, the cost of this game digitally is going to come way down at some point, and there's not going to be too much that the developer can do about it. Now, if you want that physical collector's edition and you want all the goodies that come with it, then yeah, you're probably going to spend $100 US. And just so no one makes this mistake, even though the collector's edition like ad shows all 4 versions,
Yeah.
which is Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and
Hmm.
PC, you do not get all 4 versions. You get one version, and then the goodies that come with it. If I was very well off, I'd consider ordering something like that. But
Yeah.
it's a significant amount of money for a 16-bit game that, to be honest, they've probably not put very much time in at all, because you can whip those things together really quickly in this day and age.
Hmm.
So So
That's
yeah,
supposed to be out, I think, what, October? Was they put that
October.
trailer out? Yeah.
And not to get expectations too higher, it depends what the other Halloween game is. If
Mhm.
it's just a standard asymmetrical game, I think there's an opportunity that you might see it for the following October of 2025,
Could
which
be.
would be early, and it's going to be filled with DLC. They're going to, bend people over backwards for extra content. It's just the gaming industry nowadays in 2024. However, if they're in the super early stages of this thing, then you're probably looking at a 2026 release for
Mhm.
that, which would coincide more than likely with the TV show, but maybe not. And we'll get to that in a bit. Um, Jay says, "Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
Hope all is well, and congratulations, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say in that publicly what it is, but congrats. Really happy for you." And then Jerry, long time viewer of the channel, um, Haddonfield and Beyond game with Terrence as the villain. Terrence would be the villain
The main boss.
of that. Yeah, my God, just an army of Terrences instead of an
Could
army of
you imagine?
Michaels. Oh my goodness, I'd be finding the nearest bridge to jump off of.
Yeah.
I, you know, I desperately wanted a Halloween original story game
Mhm.
where we play through a story that we don't know. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I know Johnny was on here doing the comparisons to like the supermassive games, Quarry,
Mhm.
Heavy Rain, Detroit Becoming Human, and my comments on that were that those are photorealistic games that cost more to produce than the entire David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy before marketing. That's a lot of fucking money for
It's a
this
lot of money.
franchise. And there's if you go back and watch the little, I think, 1 minute trailer they put out for these two games, the Halloween and the Evil Dead one, there's a bunch of different small companies with their hand in the pot. So that tells me there's no massive money involved in this
Mhm.
project. And I believe it's the same parties involved with the game that will be still to come.
Okay.
We will also update you on any updates that we get on the game. I said on the stream the other day, I think he deserves a lot of credit for it. Jimmy Champagne has been adamant now for a couple of years that there was a Halloween game in the works, and he ended up being right. I don't believe the Halloween game he's been talking about is a 16-bit nostalgia game.
Probably not.
But yeah, just I just think there's so much you can do. Even
Mhm.
Justin brings up the asymmetrical stuff again, how they're cash grabs. Maybe, but we haven't gotten it for Halloween.
Right.
And Halloween fans, a lot of them do want it. And I think what we're gonna do is if we can find some time next week to have Johnny on the stream with us, we'll sit down. We'll do a stream next week with the three of us, and we'll map out what we would want if it's an asymmetrical horror game for Halloween to serve as each map representing each movie.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be fun to do and to explore and different characters and whatnot. Again, though, make no mistake, if it is that, you're probably getting like one, two. It might even be just one and two
Yeah.
as the beginning, and then a bunch of DLC afterwards, which I know is really going to rub people the wrong way. But it is the type of thing where if you want to get if it is an asymmetrical horror game, if you want to get all the content for it, like at the end of the day, you're not going to be paying $50 or $60. You're probably going to be paying a couple $100 by the
Maybe.
time you get all the extra features with it. So we'll definitely follow that. Dean, any final thoughts here on the news of the week, the Halloween games?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that conversation that we hope to, and we'll plan it out. But the one we're gonna bring Johnny in for, that's kind of where I'll do a little bit more of a deep dive as to maybe what I would want to see. I kind of touched on it briefly a few minutes ago, but it's a long time coming. But I think it's good as far as finally at least announcing the games. Like we know they're on the way. It's officially confirmed. So finally, like kudos for that. The 16-bit game, I don't see it performing too well, but who knows? We'll see. It might cater to a certain audience that ends up loving it. So, we'll just keep our eyes peeled for that. But yeah, I really think the big focus is going to be the next whatever big item that we get. Hopefully they really utilize that Unreal Engine and bring us something of super high quality. I want to see story based and like you mentioned, playing through the different maps and maybe starting with 1 and 2, but then going, maybe Halloween 3, something with that, would be totally different. Wouldn't involve Myers. What kind of game they can do for free, who knows? But it could be something pretty cool. And then you get through the rest of the franchise. The options are almost endless. So, we'll see what comes from it. But high hopes as usual.
Jerry sends in a very generous super chat. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
We always we know money's tight for everybody, but whenever anyone can contribute to the channel, it really allows us to get on here and keep doing this. And don't forget our Patreon program, which represents all of our channels: Haddonfield and Beyond, the Legacy of Star Wars, the Legacy of Westeros, and Fandom Haven. All the content from all those channels still goes to one Patreon, which is patreon.com/Fandom Haven. We're also going to be doing a live watch along here shortly. I did touch base with Mike Bish, and we're trying to shore up a date, and we're pretty confident in saying the movie is going to be Halloween H2O. Okay. The question is, are we going to do Halloween H2O and Halloween Resurrection on the same stream?
Oh, right.
So we'll see what we can manage for that. Jerry says, one problem with a Michael Myers game, you have to be able to beat Michael. So do you give him Omega level health for his boogeyman status? Unbeatable bosses are a turnoff.
True.
So in the Friday the 13th game, there are ways to kill Jason, but it is damn hard. Mm-hmm. Over time it becomes easier because you figure out a pattern. Yeah. But it's hard. Very limited ways to beat him. It's more about escaping Crystal Lake than it is beating him. Excuse me. I would like to see it that he is almost unbeatable. I don't think there should be many ways to kill Michael. I think it should be much in the vein of the Friday the 13th game, to be honest. I'm sorry, my TV's going nuts. As I just turn all different colors here. What I would like to do, though, is can you bait Michael? Can you get him into a room that's going to explode like the hospital in H2? Mm-hmm. Maybe there's certain steps you got to go past. To me, if it's like a puzzle that you got to do to get Michael in a vulnerable spot and you're working together as a team to do that, that to me is intriguing and I would like to see it. Yeah, that's kind of what I would say in regards to that. Mm-hmm. While I did kind of squash the whole possibility of a photorealistic Halloween game because I don't think they'll have the money for it, I wouldn't rule out, because everybody wants that choose your own adventure, build your own Halloween story in a video game. I wouldn't rule out what the Telltale series did with The Walking Dead, with Game of Thrones. I think the other one's Wolf Among Us. I think they have some other titles as well. You might get one that looks more like a comic and is much cheaper to produce and isn't photorealistic, but with John Carpenter involved in this thing, something tells me it's going to be very similar to an asymmetrical horror, maybe with a little uptick in the action. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts? That's one thing we didn't talk about. John Carpenter is involved in the Unreal Engine 5 game. Make no mistake about it, John Carpenter's passion in life now is video games. Your thoughts on him be involved in this, and we believe he's involved in the Halloween TV series as well. Yeah.
That's a major plus, I think, with him coming in on the game. Hopefully he can give a lot of insight and, they kind of take his opinions or, whatever he's going to offer, pay close attention, run with it. I think with him being such a big gamer himself and obviously the creator of Halloween, in some sense, I think it sets it up for a bit of success. Like I said, and we say a lot, is as long as minds can come together and there's not too much behind the scenes drama and people combating, and we want to do this and they want to do that, and they can't kind of reach a happy medium. As long as that can kind of be avoided, I think we have good expectations to look forward to. But I'm curious to see how he kind of tackles the video game aspect. Like, let's see what Carpenter brings to the table with that. I know he's heavy into games, and that's his passion now. Nowadays, like you mentioned. But let's kind of see if it falls in his court. Let's see what he does here.
We're gonna get to some Halloween TV series talk soon. Strictly speculative talk here, although it's based off of a conversation I had with the source about the Halloween video game stuff and something that he said, so we will get to that in a moment. Couple of things to note. Number one, once again, rest in peace to the late Charles Cyphers. Dude lived a long life. We finally got to see him come back to the franchise in Halloween Kills. I know it's not an official thing, but if you ever get a chance to go to Dave McRae's channel and check out his Halloween well, I guess at that time it'd be Halloween 2018 sequel concept video.
Oh yeah.
Of how heavy Brackett was involved in his story there. It's really cool. So again, obviously nothing official, but I would definitely go seek it out and have some fun with that. The other thing it reminded me of, man, is the missed opportunity with Halloween Retribution to bring Charles back and sort of unite him with Josh Hartnett, to do something special and unique there. While I have you on stream, and I think we might clip this out as its own review,
okay,
without going into spoilers, please. And I know you weren't ready to do this. Could you give us just, a few minute non-spoiler review on M. Night Shyamalan and Josh Hartnett's Trap?
Trap. Okay. Where to begin? That was something that flew a little under the radar for the two of us. And then we decided, trailer came out. Let's watch the trailer here and see what this is all about. The trailer gives you the idea of it's a concert-based movie, and they're looking for this killer within the audience because they find out he's going to be in attendance at this concert. So that's your base premise of the movie, and then I will say it turns very much into cat and mouse. So we get this cat and mouse chase between authorities and Josh Hartnett, who plays the Butcher. They make it very well known that he is your antagonist throughout this movie. And then they go heavy on the concert aspect. So the concert's in the movie a lot more than I kind of expected. But overall, I would say I enjoyed it. It's getting mixed reactions like a lot of things. Nowadays, something comes out and it hits theaters and audiences go out, and it almost comes back 50-50 almost every time. It's a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it, and a small majority fall in the middle. For me, I enjoyed it. I kind of went in low expectations, but was looking forward to seeing it. I'm not a huge M. Night fan, but for me, he's sort of a local. Part of Trap takes place in and around my hometown, and it was shot up there around Sean's hometown. So that's kind of a cool tie-in here. But yeah, overall, I had fun with it. It's kind of a little bit of an edge of your seat thriller. It doesn't really have that huge M. Night twist that a lot of people might be expecting. But you do. I will say this: you have to suspend your disbelief throughout a lot of it, and just keep telling yourself it's a movie, and what may happen realistically isn't quite going to happen throughout this film. So I recommend it. Maybe not run out to the theater and see it unless you really want to. It'll hit streaming, I think, pretty soon. So wait for it to hit streaming and then make like a fun movie night of it. Watch it at home. Don't set your bar too high. But if I was to rate it, I would give it probably a solid 7.5 out of 10. You know, first the 90 minutes or so to check it out, have fun with it, and I mean, give it a chance. We say that with a lot of stuff here, but yeah, overall, I think enjoyable. But don't go with the bar setting too high.
Justin says Trap was shot where I live. Yeah, there's no mistaking what baseball stadium they're in that movie. Good sir. I want to see it. Obviously, I'm gonna wait for it to come out on physical media. I have Quiet Place Day One sitting here just waiting to watch. Haven't had an opportunity to see it yet. Looking forward to that. I want to talk about another movie briefly here that a buddy of mine had a chance to see an early screening of last night in Toronto, and that was the new Alien movie.
Okay.
And he said, you got to remember it's Disney that runs that franchise now.
Yeah.
He said he was very surprised at the quality of the movie and found himself very entertained by it, and recommends if people have an opportunity to go see it, you should get a chance to go see it. So again, I'm probably gonna have to wait to see that one on video on demand or through other means. But we'll see what happens in regards to that. KJ says he's going to IMAX to see it. I'm happy to hear it's good. Like I mean, I guess that's subjective, right? I could go see something, love it. Dean could go see something, and it could be dog shit, right? So, but this is someone who's very critical of a lot of movies, and for him to be positive about it, I was very, very happy. So, Alien comes out this weekend. Check it out. It's got an uphill battle. There are things in the box office right now that are just slugging away. What Deadpool and Wolverine is still destroying it. Well over $1 billion now worldwide. If it hasn't yet, it's about to become the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. So just absolutely remarkable. JT says we're going to see Alien tomorrow as well. Unfortunately, only 12 tickets have been sold.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'll mention is he said for a preview that people get invited to, there were not very many people in attendance, and you got to be careful with these franchises. Unless you hit something mainstream, too much time away from the big screen can be a bad thing. I still haven't seen Alien Covenant yet, and I was over the moon to want to see that movie. I still haven't seen it. So even like you got to pick and choose. Dean and I were talking about this. Like, you want to go to the movie theater in Canada, even if you live in the same city as one. By the time you pay for your tickets, if you want to see it in IMAX or Dolby or anything like that, by the time you pay for your food and drinks, your fuel to get there, it's $100 a night.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you have to travel, it's even more. So you don't have a ton of people rushing out to go spend $100 on some of these releases. It's expensive.
Right.
So you got to pick and choose what you see. Like, the next thing I see in theaters is probably going to be Joker 2.
Yeah.
I wish I could go see a bunch of things. It's just a very expensive proposition.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's kind of like planning ahead. I wasn't expecting to drop the amount of money I spent to go see Trap, but I left satisfied. So it is what it is. Like you said, the Dolby tickets, the IMAX tickets, they shot up in price. So I haven't checked those. Recently, but I imagine they're probably over the $20 mark now. I might go see Beetlejuice in IMAX just because it's available. And I think Alien also, and I think there was a third that I can't remember off the top of my head. But like the ticket pricing, it's up. Now there's a bunch of merchandise, so you want to go buy yourself some cool stuff. That factors in, the concession cost, all that stuff. So you really do have to kind of plan ahead and commit if you're going to trek out to the theater to see something. I have a handful of theaters around me, so I have some choices. Um, but a video on demand rental is about $20, and you get it for 48 hours. You can watch it 2 to 3 times in that time frame, really, if you want to. So the rewatchability is kind of nice to have, and if you do have a nice, decent home setup of some sort, it can still be pretty enjoyable. So, I see both sides of the fence on it, but I still very much prefer to at least go to the theater. Um, but there's plenty I've watched at home too. So it's a commitment, but hopefully something changes soon, even if prices were to come down a little bit on most things. But still, obviously there's profitability comes into play. So we'll see what happens with the future of movies. But yeah, I mean, just plan ahead big time.
Well, make no mistake, Disney is a company. If they don't see money in it, a bad showing at the cinema is not going to spell good for Alien. I know there's a TV show coming as well, which I've heard very little about. I know Timothy Olyphant's apparently involved, which I thought I would have heard about, but I can't seem to find very much on it. The production budget for Alien is somewhere between 80 and $90 million, which means you're probably looking after marketing, after the theaters get their cut. You probably need to make north of 200 million worldwide
Wow. Yeah.
for to
Decent.
break even. I know
Yeah.
you're going to have 10 other YouTube, creators that come out there with their own take on how much it's going to cost to break even. I'm not
Yeah.
saying my number's spot on, but I do think it's in the ballpark.
Mm,
And it's going to be a tall task, man.
yeah.
I hope that it has legs overseas. That could help. But it's very simple. If this movie comes out and loses 30, 40, $50 million, it might be the last Alien movie you ever see in theaters.
Could be. We don't hope for that. We want to see stuff at least do well above the break-even point. This way that they can continue at least seeing that there's a market for it. And it's a shame that physical media is kind of dulling down because that used to be like a big secondary market where stuff wasn't coming out as quick. Like the turnaround now sometimes is so fast that I feel like I go see a movie at the theater and like a month and a half later it's like, oh, it's available on like a Blu-ray or 4K. And I usually pick those up quick. So the turnaround is kind of a telltale sign of how something did at the theaters, and it's almost like a secondary attempt to still bring in some sort of profit or at least something financial for that movie. So you know, we'll see.
I just want to apologize to our audience at the moment. Apparently, the music has been playing all this time. StreamYards has been giving us issues with the music. I literally I do a NASCAR channel with another guy, and we've been like trying to mute it, and it still plays. It did the same thing on our Star Wars recording last night, and I don't
Mm,
know if it's a bug with StreamYards or if it's just something on our end, but hopefully it seems like the audience can still hear what we were saying.
mhm.
Dean, how bad was it for you? Because I have no mention of it here until right then, and
Yeah.
hopefully you were still able to hear us. It should be turned off now,
Okay.
but you shouldn't have to do this twice.
Yeah.
Uh, it's frustrating. So my apologies to everybody watching right now. I'm gonna have to look back at that and see how much it may have affected this stream.
Yeah.
Um, I dug the music.
Yeah.
Jerry, I appreciate the letting us know, dude.
Warning.
Oh, the atmospheric music. Okay, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
the.
No.
Hang on. So it wasn't like.
Yeah. No. It
It
wasn't.
wasn't like this.
Right.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
some bugs going on right now with StreamYards and the music.
Well,
Nothing
that.
playing now.
Well, now it's off. A second ago, it came through. It was one of the intros. For me, it's a little loud because I have the in ears kind of turned up a little bit. Um, but as far as like the atmospheric and the whole conversation we've been having, I could hear it, but I think we were both coming through over top of it. So it's kind of like that little like under rhythm. I
Okay,
don't think it'll affect the conversation all that much.
man.
But it was.
Uh,
I
yeah,
think it was fitting. I liked it.
my apologies, everyone. Yeah. Um, Jay says, I bought the full box set
Oh
of
no.
H1 through 5 with
Oh
posters, vinyls,
shit.
and pins. I left it at my parents in the box all sealed. My brother thought it was trash and threw it away.
Uh,
None of it even opened. Oh, that's terrible, dude. That's
yeah.
terrible. I
I
still haven't cracked open a single movie of mine yet,
mhm. I
which I
haven't opened
definitely
that.
will be doing this
Oh yeah.
October.
Because wait till you see like H2 and H4 in their 4Ks. Like they look fantastic. I think. It might take away some of the nostalgia from the old style looks, but no, the 4Ks look awesome. So you're in for a treat with that.
Yeah, so I definitely looking forward to diving into all of those. Now I don't have the 678, which is just disgustingly expensive up here right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
wait on that to come down.
um, so yeah, speaking of 4Ks, um, James Cameron let slip this week
Oh yeah.
while being asked about his 4K transfers that he is working on a new Terminator project, which we assume is a film, on top of the Avatar movies he's doing. So it doesn't mean we're going to see this thing anytime soon.
Mm-mm.
Um, your thoughts on James Cameron doing something Terminator?
It'd be cool to see him come back. Now, what that might be, I don't know. I think I heard a little bit of rumor that they might try to go back and tie into maybe somewhere between the original and maybe T2, or possibly something else. I'm not quite sure. I still have to get through the rest of the Terminator franchise. We never did Salvation, so that's on my watch
Still need
list.
to do three.
Yeah, and three. So, three I've at least seen. But Salvation I'm still looking forward to. Um, but the way that Cameron approaches certain things, I know his 4Ks are controversial, to put a word to it, but they don't bother me as much as other people. His statement on it was pretty interesting. I think he's kind of getting tired of the backlash a little bit. Um, I can kind of see where he's coming from. At the same time, this is his intention on how he wants to put it out. So when you have the creator kind of tackling that, it's there's not much that we can do. But yeah, seeing him come back to do probably a new Terminator film. I'm on board for it. Let's kind of see what happens. I think it'd be cool to kind of go back, maybe tie something to T1 and T2 instead of maybe something brand new and fresh. But a fresh start could also kind of spark at least two new films, maybe a trilogy. The trilogy thing kind of seems to be the way to go nowadays. But I think that's getting a little ambitious now, and I think it's kind of getting overdone. So I would say kind of maybe focus on one solid, really good project first and get that out.
I love the idea of doing T1 in between T1 and T2,
Mhm.
but I also like the idea of James Cameron giving his T2 sequel.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I would. I would sign up for that. Let's see, like, what if he ever even had this idea, which he probably did. Back in the '90s, what would we have gotten after T2 if we didn't get T3? So, yeah, I'd be on board. I'd sign up. Let's see what the man has in mind.
A couple more topics I want to talk about, but before we do, I'm going to hand it over to you, man, for a special live edition, a return of the
Yeah,
live edition of Show, Share, and Slash, and we will cut this out and put it up as its own episode as well.
nice.
So give me a moment here
Hmm.
as I work on the fly and make Dean the star, trying to,
Hmm.
anyways. And here we go, a live edition of Show. Oh God, what happened here?
Uh-oh.
Show, Share, and Slash.
All right. So earlier today, we put up another uh, what did we do it last week? Yeah, another edition of Show Share and Slash, and that video is available now. You guys can check that out. I felt like diving back into the old days of the New Line Platinum series. So a long time ago, maybe not that long ago, but a little while back, I pulled out the old Nightmare on Elm Street box set, which was a Platinum edition. And then today, you guys can go check out my old version of 7 that we did. So I only had one left, and I figured why not pull that out today. So let's dive into Texas Chainsaw 2003. One of the fan favorite from the remake days, I think, for a lot of people. And this edition here, it's a lot of fun, very cool. This wasn't very common, I think, back in the day with DVD sets, unless you were getting some really big special edition from who knows where. But this stuff kind of I would say it kind of fit the appetite for most people. So they did a slip case here, which slides off, and that covered your whole DVD set. On the back, movie shots. Let's bring that in. Plot synopsis, special features. See if we can get that in there. Cool stuff there. As always, I will detail what's featured on the discs. Then inside, we got what looks kind of like a digibook. And this thing, really cool with what they did with this. So this flips open, opens up, and gives you all of your discs. And then at the bottom there, as you guys can see, there's an evidence envelope. So I will get into what's in there. But this is it's pretty much almost the life-size version of a chainsaw blade. So very cool. Very, very cool with that design. And let's get into... Oh, I have this underneath as well. When that was brand new, if I could get this out without dropping anything, they did a metal kind of faceplate of the cover art, which is pretty cool. There's not much you can do with this unless you kind of maybe stick it on a wall or with your collection. But you did get the embossed metal faceplate here. So I thought that was a cool little touch. And I like how it matches the artwork. And then inside, we did get, that's a little bright, this evidence envelope. And inside the envelope, we get art cards. And the art cards are they're all double-sided, and they are basically evidence tags. So these are supposed to kind of replicate crime scene photos. So let's just start right here at the top. And we've got, I believe these are all shots that we saw in the movie, but we got the chainsaw there. And they're all labeled on the back too, accordingly. Yeah, so each one is labeled as what the item is or what's in the picture, with a small description of what they found. So that's pretty cool. I can't really make out what this one is, so I will bring it in. But that was a shot from one of the crime scenes in the movie. And then this picture, one of my favorites, is that quick freeze frame when they said this is the only known picture of Thomas Hewitt. So to put that in, I think was fun. Very cool inclusion. Here we have the meat hammer, looks like. So they threw that in as well. On here, we have, this is someone's teeth in an evidence bag, bagged and tagged. Very cool. This one is a little hard to make out, but I believe it is the wall in the staircase, with like the fingernail scratches where they found the fragments of like nails and blood inside the wall. So that's really cool. This looks like a pair of glasses that were found at one of the scenes. Very cool there. And then the final one, pretty hard to make out, but it may be like a piece of someone's face that was carved up and used for one of the leather face masks. So very cool. But just the design on those, making them actual evidence shots, putting them in this envelope, and then it is sealed on the back here with a piece of evidence tape. So pretty cool. We didn't get stuff like this too often back in the day. So I'm out shopping as usual and walking to Best Buy, looking at the shelves, and saw this kind of sitting there. And yeah, very cool. So let's see if I can get back in the case here. And nothing else really there that I haven't shown already. So let's get back to the back of the case and go over disc 1 and disc 2 features. So, disc 1, 3 feature-length commentaries on the production, story, and the technical aspects of the film. Features producer Michael Bay, director, this is really tiny. The director and a couple of actors, Jessica Biel's in there, and a few more. And then disc 2 is bonus features. So in the bonus features, we get an alternate opening and an alternate ending. So very cool there. I forgot that this movie even had that. So very cool to see those here. Severed parts, which is deleted scenes. Chainsaw Redux, Making a Massacre. So making a feature on here for TCM03. Very cool. And then this is one of the ones that I did remember that sticks out. Ed Gein, the Ghoul of Plainfield. So there's a documentary here all about Ed Gein, and basically he's the inspiration for this movie. So I'm sure most of us here probably know that, but for anybody that didn't, there you go. There's also some art galleries, some screen tests, so you get a little bit of like behind the scenes looks with some screen tests and some of the actors. You do get the original trailer, some TV spots, and a music video. And then also at the very bottom, DVD-ROM content was script to screen, storyboard viewer, and a link to the original website, which is probably not up and running by now. But yeah, this is what we used to get back in the day for DVD special sets from New Line. So I mentioned it in the 7 video. I'm going to mention it again here. New Line, Warner, whoever, bring this back. Bring this kind of stuff back, because if you turn this into kind of 4K collector's editions, I think it would really go over well with a lot of the community, and they'd be pretty big sellers. I think the collector community would really kind of eat this kind of stuff up. So yeah, there you guys have it. New Line's Platinum Edition, Platinum Series of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
So, probably an unpopular opinion. I have lots of them, so why not share another one? For me, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 is the best in the franchise. And I am not a Michael Bay fan by any means. I'm not someone sitting here willing to give Michael Bay all that much credit.
Right.
I feel like a lot of what he's done has been very overrated. But man, that movie, I saw it opening night in theaters. One of the worst dates I've ever been on in my life.
Oh,
the
man.
movie was the best part by far.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun, and I haven't seen that movie in probably 15 years or so.
Wow.
But I definitely want to watch it again. Really, really do enjoy it. Maybe that's something we can do as a watch along here.
Oh, yeah.
On the party or on the channel. Jerry said, nice tempo for Don't Fear the Reaper. Very good intro. Excellent touch. Please don't let this get copyright claim. Well,
Yeah.
Jerry, if you go on to our channel and look at videos and not live streams, Dean has 4 episodes out of Show, Share, and Slash. They all have that intro, and not one of them have been copyright claimed, because I think
So far.
we got a cover, and I think we stayed in that window that we need to stay in order for it to pass. And it's really hard to tell, but I underlaid some copyright-free music underneath it as well. So hopefully that was enough to fool the YouTube AI, if you will.
Yeah, hopefully.
Sinister, yep, that is a bad take. Well, guess what? I also think Halloween 3 is a really good movie, and miles better than Halloween Ends, Rob Zombie's movies, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween H2O, Halloween 5. So I got a lot of bad takes. Yeah. So
TCM03, I when you watch through the franchise, it's kind of all over the place. It's kind of hard to piece together a little bit. 1 and 2, really enjoyable for me. I used to hate part 2, and then kind of came around to it later. But yeah, 2003, I think, was a cool kind of modernization. Let's remake it. Let's put our own spin on it. One of the favorites of mine. So I don't think his take is as far fetched as a lot of people might think. But But yeah, no, I think the movie itself I think has a really good reputation.
I like the first two TCM movies. It's not like I think they're bad. I just thought the suspense and the gore, if you will, in this one is
Oh
quite
yeah.
good. So
Hmm.
Sinister says he likes Halloween 2 over the original. I go back and forth with that. It's hard for me. I have like a H4 is always my number one.
Yeah.
But I go back and forth between 2018 Halloween 2 and Halloween 1. More often than not, H2 and
Mhm.
H1 winning out over 2018. Justin Smith says Vinegar Syndrome put out one of the best releases for TCM2.
I have two of them. So it's yeah, it's that's kind of what made me come around to it more. Like I mentioned, I hated it when I first watched it, but I was kind of out of the loop that it's kind of more of a spin on horror comedy and not a full on TCM movie. And then Vinegar Syndrome put out their collector's edition. So with that note being taken up here, I will do a show share and slash in the future on that Vinegar Syndrome TCM2 release.
Nice, nice. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I don't think I've seen that one yet, man.
It's a goodie.
Where you been
It's
hiding that?
in this whole mess. No, I'm actually glad I have it as organized as it is now. But the shelves are starting to overflow again, so I'm gonna have to rethink a couple things here.
All right, so let's have a hard talk about the Halloween TV series to wrap things up.
All right.
Um, so one of the sources that we use at the channel, I told you this quote the other day, said to me that they were stunned, utterly stunned that we got an announcement about Halloween video games before an announcement about what's going on with the Halloween TV series. And his words, not mine, the longer that this takes to officially announce something, and again, they don't need to announce everything,
No.
but all we know right now is Miramax, Trancas, TV show, and they would like it to connect to some movies. Other than
Right.
that, we don't know anything other than rumors that we've run, people that may be involved in it, what stage they might be in. Well, guess what, man? We are halfway through August
Yeah.
2024. If we're going to get something about this series, it's going to be in the next 2.5 months.
Hmm.
If we do not, and it trails into 2025 before official announcements come, I'm not saying the 2026 target date isn't reachable because it's not like filming a Star Wars movie or an Avengers movie or series or even Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon where there's a ton of CG work that needs to be done. But people still need to remember that the equivalent of a if it is 8 episodes, an 8 episode Halloween TV series that's probably going to come in at around 40 minutes an episode, maybe longer than that, is essentially the equivalent of about 3 Halloween movies, approximately. They're going to need time to film that. They're going to need
Yeah.
time to cast that. I've had two people say to me that they think Sydney Sweeney is involved in the project.
Okay.
Whether that comes to be, we'll wait and see. Um, but the longer this goes, the less likely for me it is that they hit a 2026 release date. Now, we're not in danger of being able to miss that release date. They could announce something midway through next year and still easily have something out by October 2026. It's just weird we got the rights announcements and then some more clarification about what it's going to contain, and then it's been radio
Yeah.
silent since. And the two things that I heard the most were, one, they were having a hard time locking down a showrunner. I guess their first couple of picks were not necessarily not interested, but not available in the time span that they wanted to get it out for. And then it's, do you do it by committee without one guy in charge? Which,
Yeah.
whatever they've done by this point has been done by committee. I'm not saying I'm concerned about the show, but I am saying that I'm getting a little bit antsy.
Hmm.
And, usually you hear rumblings or something, but it's been really radio silent
Yeah.
lately. Your thoughts on just where we're at with everything?
My prediction a little while ago, and I'm kind of sticking with it, is I expect probably at least something by October. I think it makes the most sense, but it's a little odd that, like you said, we have all those announcements at first, and now it's just been quiet. So, hopefully they're kind of working hard behind the scenes and they're trying to work out, whatever details that they have to. But I really hope that October we get some sort of more concrete announcement, something along the lines of maybe at least a showrunner. I would hope so. Then we at least know who's going to be working on it, and then maybe some ideas on what they plan on bringing to the table. So, uh, I'm keeping fingers crossed for October, but the silence, now that you mention it, kind of has me a little bit concerned, but not so alarmed at the fact that, like, okay, like, what's going on, and could this kind of have the same fate that Crystal Lake is going through right now? So hopefully not. But I'm gonna stick with the October kind of prediction for me.
It's important to note that with Halloween projects, unlike a lot of other franchises, they like to do shit ass backwards. So even though there had been no showrunner for a while, make no mistake, they already had a story and setting in mind before almost every Halloween director has been hired. They have had, again, not every single one, but most of them,
Yeah,
they've had an idea on story and setting and what they want the project to be, and then they go bring a director in. So I do believe writing has been happening.
hmm
I do believe they have an idea where it's going. It's just what would a showrunner add to it? Um, you need more than just a showrunner now. You need a whole writing team to follow the Writers Guild guidelines. So um, yeah, Sinister says that he just created a Halloween 2 video in Unreal Engine 5. You guys should check it out sometime. I just found your channel. I dig it. Keep up the great work. Do me a favor, Sinister. Post it in our chat.
yeah,
No problem whatsoever. None of us are going to take it down. Post it in the chat. I would definitely love to take a look at it. Feel free to link your channel in there, man. Unlike a lot of content creators, we are absolutely about helping others out. A couple of other people, content creators, movie makers, if you will, that we've helped out. You have Braden Timmons with The Last Nightmare Part 1 coming up. Cannot wait to get my hands on the score for that movie, man.
yeah.
Film is locked. Picture is
hmm
locked. So that's exciting. Dean and I contributed to that. And then Halloween Aftermath with James Grimm and Company, Grimm X Productions. You might see a couple recognizable faces in that movie. So be on the lookout for that as well. Again, that's a 2025 release, where The Last Nightmare Part 1 is a 2024 release. Um, so really excited about both of those. There's lots of Halloween, man.
Yeah,
I mentioned this to Johnny the other day. Let's close with this. For those of you that heard this discussion, I apologize for repeating it, but I, I just hang on before I do. I want to check out Jerry's comment here.
yeah,
Uh, this TV series is becoming the horror community's Loch Ness or Bigfoot. Evidence, rumor,
yeah,
some hope, and then it all fades into a what if legend. That sounds more like Crystal Lake at this point, man. I wouldn't go that
yeah.
far with Halloween. Um, thanks for that, guys. No problem, Sinister. Feel free to share it, dude. Um, look, Halloween has an embarrassment of riches right now. You might have to be patient for some of them,
Yeah.
but you got last year. You got your Michael Myers Fortnite skin. I know it's not much, but if you're a Fortnite fan,
That's awesome.
if you're a Fortnite fan, you have the Michael Myers skin that came out last year. Okay. You also had the reprints of some of the Halloween novels that come out last year.
hmm
You had the making of book, which was a earlier this year or last year release. I can't remember, of the David
Uh,
Gordon Green trilogy.
I believe it was earlier this year. I think I got it around March.
You have the Halloween 16-bit nostalgia style video game. There's a box set for that as well. Um, Then you also have the Halloween TV series, which is in active development. You know they want to make a movie that's tied with it, and now you have another Halloween video game coming.
Hmm.
I know for a fact there's more behind the scenes Halloween literature stuff coming, and rumored Halloween fresh literature content coming in terms of in story. Again, rumored, but keep an eye out on that. I don't know if it'll be novel or comics. Um, JT mentions we have to get a new movie for the 50th year anniversary. I think that's definitely going to happen. You know, there's going to be more physical media releases for Halloween.
There's a new one
Uh,
coming.
oh, what's the newest one coming?
Yeah, it got first announced as a, I think it was in Italy, overseas release, and now Walmart here picked it up for the domestic for us. It's another re-release of the David Gordon Green trilogy in a steelbook.
The
All
knife,
three,
right?
yeah, all three packed together. Clear slip on the front. Laurie is in the knife, and then you take the cover off. And I will say the front cover shot is 2018 Michael's mask, and it looks great.
Because yeah, I seen the front cover of that, and I
Hmm.
actually prefer the front cover of that over the one that's I think over your right shoulder there.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks good. Looks really good. Um, I don't think I'll be getting it. I don't think I need it. I have enough copies of them. But for anyone
No
that
additional
doesn't have it,
extras, I'm assuming.
I have all the slipcover versions, bunch of steelbooks, and I have the behind the H2 pumpkin is the Best Buy steelbook set in the like the metal case. So I'm good on copies of the David Gordon Green trilogy.
I'm assuming they didn't announce any new extras. Same
Nope,
thing again.
all the same stuff. Yeah.
So
So we have to hope for a boutique to pick those up to do collector's editions if we're going to hope to see any kind of like, well, for us, it would be like, new footage or anything that was cut. I would like to see the alternate ending for 2018. Although I heard it wasn't really well received and that's why it was changed. So we'll see.
yeah, no, it tested terribly in test
Yeah.
screenings. So um, I think it'll happen. I just think we need more
Hmm.
separation from it. Like
Yeah.
Halloween Ends at the end of the day didn't even come out 2 years ago. So
Right. Yeah.
um,
It'll be a little bit of time.
yeah, definitely. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this live stream. Thank you for tuning in to both of our live streams this week. We're hoping to be back with one next week. We still got more pre-produced content coming. If you missed show share and slash earlier in the show, feel free to scroll back and find it, or wait for the video to come out this upcoming weekend. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications to all to keep up to date with all of our future content. If you want to support the channel on another level, feel free to do so at patreon.com/fandom empire. I can guarantee you that Dean and I are going to get a piece of Patreon content out this month for Haddonfield, so be on the lookout for that. We're planning watch parties and all sorts of other different things. I know we have a rather big thing coming up in the not too distant future with the guys from Halloween Aftermath. So be on the lookout for announcements from that. Really looking forward to a lot of what we have to come. And if you missed any of our other content, you can check us out Legacy of Star Wars Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, over on the Legacy of Star Wars channel. The Legacy of Westeros is still going to get content on Mondays. And then Fandom Haven for anything that doesn't fit into Haddonfield and Beyond in those other two channels. If you miss our wrestling talk or whatever, go check out Fandom Haven and just general movie reviews. You will find them over there. But for Dean, I'm Sean. We'll see you next time on. Oh, sorry. Pardon me. Big shout out to our channel sponsors
Yes.
and our patrons. Without them, we would not be here. Jason Knight, Backtrack Cinema, Jesse, Storytime Spectacular, Mr. Matt Whitfield, we're thinking about you, buddy. Please get better soon. Chris as well. Really appreciate all the contributions that you do, and just to everybody that really chimes in and makes this happen for us. We thank you all. But until next time, we'll see you in Haddonfield and beyond.